Jake's Monster Mash, written by steam-powered cyborg. Halloween night had arrived on Sodor. There was not a cloud in the sky and a full moon lit the engine's way home. Compared to the others, the electric engines had a surprisingly easy day. But maybe they just thought it was easy because there were a couple of new engines to take care of the goods. Anyhow, Sally, Jake and Anthony were listening to one of them, named Arnold, telling a story about how a workman got in an incident at the quarry.
And how does water hitting a black crystal cause the engine to be damaged?
If you knew of the properties, you wouldn't be asking me that.
Your story was good, Arnold, but maybe we should let someone else tell a story.
No one wants to hear yours, Lady Mary Crawley.
I was talking about Jake. He told me he was thinking up a lovely story for tonight.
Oh, if you think everyone would like to hear.
Well, I don't see the harm in it.
Thank you, Arnold. Go on.
Well, okay. Once upon a time, there was once an island called Sodor. Not too many people know it, but it's situated a few miles off the northwest of Cumbria. Locals to the island know it for being the home to monsters. Big monsters, small monsters. There are engines who can suck the essence out of others to survive. There are some who can change themselves at will, and many others in between. But there's one...
Hang on. Why are there a ton of monsters on Sodor? There are absolutely none here.
Exactly. This is a story about Sodor if it was a home to monsters.
That's right. They are never seen by the public eye because the fairy queen of this little haven had set up a force field centuries ago. Each Halloween night, they come out of hiding and haunt anywhere there are victims who deserve it.
Hang on. So did you spend most today thinking up a whole fantasy world for this story?
You can never have too much world building, Anthony. All right, I admit I'm unappreciative of my time. There's one little ghost who didn't take part in any of the hauntings. His name was Thomas. Whenever you would talk to him, he would just stare into space. Sometimes other monsters thought he was trying to ignore them. A little ghost engine was shunting trucks, possessing their bodies and making them move around when he saw the ghost engine glaring at the station. 3 engines were at the station chatting. A giant olive diesel with several hydraulic claws on top of him, making him look like Medusa. A short black tender engine with bloody fangs and a large engine that looked like a huge tree on wheels. The little ghost glanced to the side and saw Thomas standing next to him. He jumped. He didn't even notice he was there.
Hello. Tough luck being a ghost these days, right? You know, that engine with the snake claws says we have no point jumping out at others because we might run through our targets. Okay, see you later. Hey, Thomas, be a good spirit and take my trucks. I need to fetch my coaches. You ghostly lot are just fine as people, just tools for proper monsters to do the haunting.
And he did, but the trucks didn't go where they were supposed to. In fact, they completely disappeared, and they weren't the only ones. That night, James went to the station. He would usually be the first one to purge, so all he expected was the fat controller, Thomas, and his train of trucks. But Thomas was nowhere to be seen.
Sir, where are my trucks? Where is Thomas?
That's what I want to know. I looked all over the island, Not even Lady has seen her, and she has her eye on all the island.
Really? Well, where could he be?
On the mainland, a heritage railway stood in the rural countryside alone, and all was quiet, except for one part of the line where an engine mysteriously derailed. Workmen had come with lamps and rails to lever it back on the rails.
How did this happen, King Edward?
I honestly have no idea. It wasn't even that dark at 5. I didn't see anything on the track.
Perhaps someone threw something onto the tracks.
Nonsense! Who would want to see an engine at this time of day? Whatever the case, I'll be glad to at least be at peace indoors.
King Edward was taken back to the shed. He was feeling very tired after a long day. After a few hours, King Edward realized that he couldn't get to sleep. There was a feeling that he was not alone. He didn't know why. Meanwhile, James took the Fat Controller to the Vicarstown portal, Sodor's gateway to the outside world.
If a monster is not on Sodor, it is definitely on the mainland.
But he's not allowed out at this time of night. None of us are.
Time was ticking away that night, and King Edward was still feeling tired, and yet he couldn't get to sleep.
Where's 3822? Shouldn't he be going past back to his shed by now?
One of the workmen came to his shed for the night shift.
Hey there, you passed the sheds, right? Did you see 3822 there?
Surely he must be in the shed.
Actually, I come back from a derailment in the dead of the night, and he should have come back from helping me a few minutes ago. Are you sure you didn't see him on the line?
I trust you, but why would he take so long to get back? Unless he derailed himself.
Before King Edward could say anything, a mist rolled in. It came in thick and low to the ground. It tickled King Edward's footplate like a snake on a vine, slithering to its prey. That was nothing, however, compared to... A truck rolled in, by itself, from one corner of the yard and all the way out of Edward's sight. That was odd enough, but then came another, and another, and another, and then...
What was that?
Oh, where can he be?
Wait, what's that?
Oh, Stephen Pistons, he's gone and done it.
Wait, there's more? Ah!
The engines were speechless.
Hang on, how is Thomas there and on Sodor? He must have faulted the magic sensors, so...
Ask yourself that, Anthony.
You're the storyteller here, Jake. How is that?
I'm asleep. Can't hear you.
Forget it. At least none of these monsters are... What was that?
I love Victor spare whistles.
In that episode of Thomas Rewritten, the story was written by Christopher O'Shea and narrated by Jamie Parker. It stars Ryan Doyle as Anthony, Train Maniac Studios as Arnold, Meet Michelina as Sally, Christopher O'Shea as James, Percy and the Workman, Jerome Spitzer as King Edward, Rockman 1445 as 3822, and Jerome Spitzer as Thomas. Sound effects were created by Jerome Spitzer, G.W. Shunter, and Nathan Bassett, and the music was created by NWR06 Music, Lauren B. Branch, Joe Bin, Ellery Reneas, and other miscellaneous sources. This has been a steam-powered sideboard production. The characters are owned by Wilbert and Christopher Audrey, Britt Holcroft, Hit Entertainment, and Mattel.